want to talk about catching. Last season you went into it with Nunez and Diaz, left hand, right hand there. Diaz ended up taking off as the season when
Right.
Nunez took him a bit. Where do you stand now? Where do you feel that group is at this point?
Well, we're hoping that Elias can build off last year, right? Getting back in the saddle with a lot of at bats, and obviously how he ended the season. What great momentum for him! Great momentum. Dug himself a hole, got out of it, and flourished. So, our expectation and his expectation is that to carry on, as evident by the multi-year contract. The trust that we have in him. Dom, rookie. It's not an easy path coming up as a rookie catcher. It takes time to really, for most catchers to really get your feet on the ground and to be able to handle that role both defensively and offensively. So we think Dom will be better off for it. Carlos Perez into the mix, veteran, has been around, had a big year with the bat in AAA, catching and playing the outfield. But experienced. Brian Servin, full year in AAA. 5 spring trainings with us now. So his comfort level is growing. Those are the guys who are getting most of the playing time here. So we feel good about that.
With Dom, as the season went last year, his playing time dropped a bit. He's still young.
Right.
Does he have to, or is there kind of a balance you're trying to make with how much you need him here with the bat and how much maybe he needs to play? Is that going to be a big decision?
Well, yeah, that's always it's always a decision that we have to make. What's best for the team, what's best for Dom. If you always ask the player, they'll say, "No, I'm in the get me in the big leagues. I don't need more time in the minors." But through our exit meetings last year, there are some things that Dom indicated that he wanted to do offensively with his swing, in conjunction, the discussion with our hitting coaches about some things that we think will help him, and he was on board because a lot of those things were his ideas as well. But we feel comfortable. We feel comfortable with Dom defensively. I think Dom expects more offensively, and we think there's more in there. Right? There's some power in there. There's some pull power. I think there's a guy that controls the strike zone pretty well. So, whether we are able to give him a lot of at bats, it might not be the case. He might have to. Be a compliment to Elias. But you never know how a season's going to play out, right? You don't know. I mean.
But the thing that strikes me about Connor Joe in the short time I've watched him, it seems like he hits the ball extremely hard and consistently. I mean, have I seen that right? I mean, this spring, it's like every time he hits the ball, it jumps off his bat.
Yeah. He's, there's a, this guy was a high pick out of college, right? So there's always been that feeling among scouts and organizations and decision makers that, he's going to hit. Last year he showed it with us. Had some, got off to a really good start. It was a bummer that, he went down with the hamstring late in the year, but we've always liked the at bats from our scouting reports, right? When he was elsewhere, our pro scouts who are out in the minor leagues, good reports on Connor, like all clubs do, a hat on him. I mean, last year he signed with us, and there were at least 15 teams trying to sign him, but he signed with us, and it worked out. That he was able to come. Remember, he had the broken wrist, spring training.
Yes.
He was probably going to make the team, and he had the broken wrist, so that set him back in Miami. But he's a guy that can give you a good at bat, no matter whether he's playing every day, whether he's playing some, whether he's not playing a lot. I mean, I think the quality of that bat is consistent, and that is a guy with a good head who understands his role, who understands what's going on, his place on the team. So, but we think he can hit. You're right. I mean, he's having a really good spring as far as the contact rate, the hard contact.
So is the next question, where do you use him?
Use him in left and right and first base and DH.
And you're comfortable in any of those?
Yeah, he's worked really hard on his defense and emergency catcher, third
That's
catcher.
right, an emergency catcher.
Yeah, he's so athletic that
We caught a little bit in high school and a little bit in college, and so yeah, those 4 spots we can get him in the lineup.
Incredible.
consider regular center field kind of a position competition, or is it guys you're trying to, maybe some sort of rotation?
It could be some sort of rotation. Could be, unless the guy's really on swinging great, then that guy plays a lot.
But what have you seen from Iglesias and your time in the bigs when a guy comes in and is replacing a guy of Trevor Story's
Right.
stature? Is it easier for him to be coming from the outside than maybe from inside, say like Ryan McMahon did?
Well, I think it depends on the player and how they are able to handle that. Iglesias will be fine. I mean, he's a veteran player who's proven that he's a major league shortstop, and for a period of time, you could make the case that he was, one of the best defensive shortstops, in the game when he first came up. Boston, Detroit. He's whatever word you want to use with his hands, right? He's a wizard, magical. He's talented. I think he'll be fine in the mental aspect. And relate to Mac's been fine.
Yeah.
Trevor was fine replacing Tula. You'll find that most big league players are confident and they're fine with replacing really good players.
Where do you think Brendan Rodgers' development is at second base right now?
Defensively,
Yes.
improving incrementally. Stu will do great work with him on a regular basis. Spring training, during the season. Brendan will get more comfortable each and every day, each and every week, month, year. Right? He's got to stay on top of things too, though, right? That professional athletes do. Fitness, nutrition, all those things that go into being a pro. But his arm is in a good spot, right, after his surgery. His footwork around second will continue to improve. This is a guy who's a natural shortstop. We moved him to second in the minors. But he can throw from all angles at second. He can't get lax on some of his throws because, he's natural throwing from down here at times. That can do some things. We got to keep an eye on that. But, I suspect that he's going to get better because he's young and his work capacity is increasing. His ability to practice better is improved from his days as a minor league player. There's a transition coming from high school. Think of a high school. Things are a little different now, but think about a high school player coming into professional baseball and the amount of repetitions and ground balls you take and time you're on the field. It's way different than high school.
Yeah.
It takes time to build up that stamina, endurance, work ethic, to really, really improve. So that's where he is now. He's passed some thresholds that will enable him to be better.
Because we all know, given the type of pitching staff you have, a lot of ground ball out guys.
Right.
you need a really solid
Infield,
infield.
Yeah.
right?
for sure. Mac's solid, right? I mean, the eye test and the metrics tell you on Mac what he did. We think Iglesias is going to be fine. Brendan, I think the plays to his left are his strength. Sort of that dive, slide, get up, throw. I think that's his strength. I mean, up the middle, maybe a little bit of work. I think double play, that's going to improve just the quickness, the timing, knowing hitters, knowing the league, speed of the major league game. All that is starting to really come into play for him.
And then Cron at first, primarily Cron at first.
Fine. I thought much better in the second half. COVID year, didn't play or played 9 games, got hurt with the knee. Previous seasons, a lot of DH. Last year, a lot of first. So I think he got much more comfortable. His defense improved. I thought he was fine in the second half. Picks, especially ranging plays, fine. He's got good hands. He's got a good arm. He does, yeah.
One thing on Rogers, and this is something you would know, you saw a guy who was really hungry to hit. Do you see that hunger to be that defensive player?
It's getting there. That's our that's our challenge to him, is to be the complete player. And to be the complete player, you got to work. And he's shown a propensity now to work harder, work longer, work smarter. He's shown that now. That's maturity.